We are getting somewhere. I'm not sure where we're getting. We're still... Yeah, we're still working on the Red-Headed League. The day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was oddly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was homely. We just got out of claiming that, they just got out of claiming that, De Rousseau put the collar on him. On Gregson. But there's nothing of the sort on Gregson's body. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is that, Counsel? I'd ask the court to look closely at this photograph of this victim, Mr. Inspector Gregson. You can see his neck. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. Eh? But that'd make no sense. It was me who took the cut off the man in the morning. I saw the red bruise on his neck, just like I have. That mark is still clearly visible on the witness's neck. You'd expect to see bruising on the victim. Who was in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi? Oh, indeed. That is most peculiar. What we tell you, huh? Huh? We say this from the beginning, many times. Oui, Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is something different to the man we held captives at night. Order. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection.
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. Prosecution made that assertion itself. That was a nice reaction, though. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for the day, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. It were the real Inspector Gregson, with whom these two red-headed gentlemen had encountered. The fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real Inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, Counsel? The whole thing defies explanation, yeah. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo, because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Ah, good gracious! Well, very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever the truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi? Yeah, it's Gregson's. I think the obvious question... I think the obvious point we're gonna roll with is that this is an imposter. There's too much evidence that it's not Gregson. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. No bruising can be seen on the victim's neck. The person with those two red-headed men took prisoner that day could not have been Inspector Gregson. I know it just like inadvertently pulled open the photo of Vigil. He's got like a similar looking tie. In other words, your whole argument up until now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. He also went missing. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck. So the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the couple dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar. Mon Dio Pepino, I was not so harsh as you say, eh? So who was that falso inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night. Like, it's gotta be lining up to Vigil, isn't it? Must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who the witnesses encountered in the park posing as Inspector Gregson? Look at the mark around Brev's neck. See, my first thought was... like, they're literally the same. My first thought was you, because you just have been gone. But you have the visible mark around your neck. I think we might go with you. Because you have the visible mark around your neck, so I feel like we can say that, hey, you got put in the collar. Let's try presenting you first. Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
Objection!
What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? Huh? See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes. But one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. Eh? What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, bailiff. Bring the aforementioned witness back to the courtroom. Immediately. Hello there. Samesies! Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. Identical to that of the witness beside him. And now what's going on here, eh? What is that, this, me? That's a birthmark, innit? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Something about an inspector again. Seem real nervous. I'm telling you, you've got it all wrong as usual. Denying all knowledge of it. Now, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi. I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? But do we have any choice? We are in bigger trouble, eh, Capo? That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. The inspector and the identification revisited. Okay. The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. He's right, see? You think we would forget those grand lips, eh? I never leave Fresno Street, all right? I've no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world, me. I've no kinfolk or nothing. Or would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this? It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, eh? There was no need for this pointless testimony. Well, that's right, I'm just a simple peddler. Remember, Fresno Street's all I know. Now what I've come by, a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... A brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Susanoo. Kazuma is thinking. But what? Unclear.
Hold it!
So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There's no need to put your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Oops, sorry, didn't mean to look away. Because I've never seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. It looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar. Ah, mon Dieu. With your words, it's like you are trying to wring my neck. It does look very much like my neck, though, eh? No, it's the birthmark, lad. The biggest lips in London and a neck to die for. Aye, they broke the mold when they made me. It was the first time in my life. I feel lucky to have been born with red hair. And I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. You maintain that you've never seen this man before. Oui, sister. I swear to it by the flames of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration within your hair now, huh? Has it? It's right.
Hold it!
How's your lips? Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget these lips in a hurry either. Crazy line out of context. That is what I'm saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat, how did Fabian call it, an eclair? You know, I never seen the hair as black as yours yet before either. Likewise, I never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. See, maybe it is a nationality trait, eh? Maybe all the people from this man's country have the grand lips. No, lad, I was born right here on Fresno Street, and I've never left. Right in this exact spot my mother dropped me. Oof, that is the problem, see? So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip. How many times do you want me to say it, eh?
Hold it!
So, you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, have you? Don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? My business to know what's going off in town. I sold that tasty tidbit to a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got Sandwich to cough up for it. Nah, poor Sandwich. He just have a very red nose, if that counts. Who knows? As you can see, my own hairstyle got a hint of red in it. In any case, Fresno Street's my patch. You won't catch me siding up to some other part of town. No, sir, not likely. Ooh, hello.
Excuse me.
Mr. Dirasso. Oui. Can I help you? Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps. I do love your glasses swinging animation, it's cool. It was the other day, when I was looking for a place near the park. A small house or something. To the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes. I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? Wait, he had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. I've never left Fresno Street, me. Like I said before. You've mistaken me for someone else. Someone with the same face. No, the Capo is right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes. With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. I looked at the name on the papers. Oh? And what name was written? Mr. Gossip. No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Boone, huh? It's better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see? Oh, shit, no. I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like folk talking about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. I won't add it to your testimony, little man. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections. Yeah! I'm sorry, my lord. The defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Good gracious! Do you simply object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, the particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Well, I never! In what capacity? Hugh Boone. Oh, they're just gonna outright say it. Because was that fact in the court record? Oh, we do have you, too. The name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. Victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case, here. So your real name is Hugh Boone? Well, just between us. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tidbits in town. Though I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a fall-down backstreet townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. Oh, I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. Aye? Neither of us is a vulgar, it's not me. Think again, Pepino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. You'll update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. If I must. The lead order Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along. Aye, I went through with that was found, it's true. But what difference it makes.
Hold it!
So, you live in that room, presumably, do you? Well, not exactly a bed or the like. No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk. Then, why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really. Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to. No, that board's not mine. Inspector must have brought it along. The only other bits and bobs that belong to me. The desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. Gregson just put it in his pocket, Animal Crossing style. The question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room? But obviously, I'm not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest. It seems to me that Mr. Boone, I thought as little is known about this room as possible for some reason. Yes, it does come across that way. And more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. Particularly if there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. So I'm finally going to undo this man. Oh, yep, this is the one.
Hold it!
Now we know that the photo of Mrs. Vigil is his bits and bobs. You mean you have no family? We can unmask him completely. No, none at all. I spend my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passers-by. Hoping, and just between us, this is, that eventually someone else with lips like mine will come along. I don't think so. You may be right. Anyway, that mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore. Well, what's a fella to do then, eh? You don't believe me, we're at an impasse. There's nothing I can do but flick my lip. Looks like I'm not gonna get anywhere here unless I can produce some proof. You're basically saying I got dressed up and posed as some fancy inspector, aren't you? Well, it's beyond me how you think I could do that.
Hold it!
Where's the face part of the disguise? Maybe you could, say, with a mustache or a beard to cover up that lip. No, perhaps. With a beard wouldn't really cover up the lip. If I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up this fine specimen. But it'd look like his lordship over there, wouldn't I? Are you calling my beard fake? You're guilty. Pardon? I assure you my lips are entirely unremarkable. I would ask you not to cast such scrutinizing looks in any right direction, counsel. Why me? Sorry, my lord. My imagination got the better of me there. Well, Inspector Gregson did wear a mustache, of course. You're right, he did. So perhaps he was hiding something himself. Could barely have hidden a crumb in a mustache of that size. Anyways, the detective we spoke with had no facial hair at all. See, the capo was right. He was a clean shaven. Certainly seems beyond the realm of possibility that this witness could have disguised himself as the victim. Why, does and it is. That's the extent of their testimony, is it? What's your feeling, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, what Mr. Boone says is undeniable. It would be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise. Perhaps, yes, but nevertheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. It's identical to the one that Mr. De Rossi suffered. Yeah, that's true. But why does this whole disguise idea just keep playing on my mind? So do we just straight up present this?
Objection!
do, if you have no kinfolk, as you put it. Explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room. Ah, I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well... Mr. Boone, drop the pretense, and tell the court exactly who you really are. Ooh, I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. But you don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. It's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson.
Objection!
How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No one of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features.
Objection!
But what if you were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel, what do you mean? Well, no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed, which makes it a very perfect disguise feature to apply. Consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. And hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Oh, here we go. Good. Witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes he can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Feels very fitting to drop the accent here. Right, well then, Mr. Counsel, what is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip on the street? I was about to present his face before.
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. Ah! I don't recall that name, Counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? The name I encountered yesterday, my lord. Has to do with a certain client, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What? What I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. Of course, that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed League men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in the case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. That explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. Now, just you hold on a minute. I don't have the first idea. What I'm talking about? Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a washbowl at once. Give this man a swirly. Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi, you will restrain the witness. Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. No. Whoa. No, stop. Get off. Please. Don't. Oh. Smooth. An effective disguise. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Lift your head, sir. The court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witness, tell the court. Have you seen this man before? Ah, I don't believe it. But... see, there is no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park. Extraordinary. We're now keeping our distance. The day of the Red-Headed League enrollment. A man claiming to be Inspector Gregson who appeared before Mr. DeRousseau and Mr. DeRossi in the park. Was you disguised as the inspector? Or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all? Since his identification was not exactly photo ID, we're too early for that sort of ID. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at Barclay Prison. The chief warder? Then your career had promise. Why, you would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about with you. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I am Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from? Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there is a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. Testimony? Oh, okay, just review. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment as Barclay's chief warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. The times are hard in London. I found no suitable engagements at all. Desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone. I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place in which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler. Transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. It quickly became my daily routine. I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it. But why on earth did you just tell us this in the first place? Shame is a powerful motivator. I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons. Without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead you decide to conceal your occupation from them? Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder of the prison. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Dr. Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I'd invented Boone and began my other life as a street seller. He, the inspector that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. That makes sense, that tracks. And you were both involved in that case to some degree. This art style is really cool. This feels like a Holmes illustration. He saw what I'd become, and he was deeply troubled for me and my family. From that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. He was just a good dude. And one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. A secret? What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? Hi, we always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me. Visit Orxie's tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress. There's always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. Those occasions would lend me his identification so that people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, that people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. For those services, compensated me financially. Huh. Okay, that's... I don't know what to make of this information. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquished his identification into your care with intent to deceive. That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. Why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if, well, if I end up a croaker. Well, he was doing something outside of his normal work. And the time he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. Oh, he was doing this. He was just 100% in on this. It became something of an office to him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my boon disguise, then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me the bruise on my neck might give me away. I have more questions about what Gregson has been doing, what the hell he was involved with, how he wound up in this situation. Well, it seemed his confession completely destroys the defense's case. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asogi. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered. The hands of those two red-headed League men when they imprisoned the inspector. Slap! Ow! But no, that can't be. That just threw me. This is what would really happen if you watch the lawyer slam the desk like that all the whole trial and then try and do it yourself. But no, that can't be. Slap. No! After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day. It was me. Oh, goodness. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with this murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Defense, for proving it. What? Ah! Order, order, order. Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim, as proven, somewhat ironically, by the defense. Ugh. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination. Where do we go from here? Hold it? Who's holding it? Cosmo? Not a Cosmo? That was a Cosmo. Hold it. Pardon me, my lord. With your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Oh? Cosmo? What question, counsel? concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago. The execution of the professor, Genshin Asogi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh. Answer me, man. One moment, Counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. Does the defense concur, Counsel? Kazuma, you're not yourself. Not as calm and collected as usual. Poor Kazuma-sama, no wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asogi's last moments, his own father. No, I do understand that. Even so. Prosecutor Asogi. Do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please. Very well. Then the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. Oh boy. The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten? I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time. To have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job? Yes, you're right. He's trying to hide the truth. Not only that, or he's trying to not talk about it. Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. That he resigned, too. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily. Which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. And it never truly leaves us. The seal is broken, the memories resurface. When they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't... Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it. So the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right. Now I understand exactly what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Oh. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. Quote-unquote return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? Oh boy. This is a very concerning path, but I have no idea how this is going to go. This is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of chief warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. It's a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. dismissal notice. And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? Brother man got fired. What? A slap. It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? What is happening here? You were forcibly dismissed. There must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. It's very eerie. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on 17th June, 10 years ago. On that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. The 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor? As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. Refresher. Aiding and abetting the escape of this prison of convict blank just prior to his execution. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict ostensibly executed earlier in the day later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. Trevor. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on 17th June 10 years ago, and now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. This man's gonna pass out. Shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. Huh? What? Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories at the time have returned? My head, it's... Professor Theme is here. It's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. The screams? My goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Trevor. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Lowgate Cemetery, at plot number 139. Blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I've reviewed the police records of that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. The conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting the prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes. Yes, and I was suspected of doing it, using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. What? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. Sorry, dearly, but this is a serious business. Why can I help you now? As chief warder, you're responsible for overseeing the execution of 4, eh? Well, it seems the fellas at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You better pack your things, laddie. You ought to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And next thing I knew, the professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape, and finished my life. It's over. Ooh! Ah! Oh. Order! Order! Bailiff, fetch doctor at once! Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
The door is opening. Oh. Ooh, investigation part 2. I think now's a good point to leave off. When we return. Actually. Yeah, now's a good point to leave off. Until then.